Immigrants represent 14% of the population in the United States, approximately 45 million people, more than statistics. They are a dream to somebody, a family, a life so deeply intertwined with the very fabric of this country. Yet their contributions have been weighted or cast aside time and time again. All too often, one forgets that immigrants, and particularly immigrant women, face serious issues that run deep within systemic racism, sexism, and xenophobia. These issues are not isolated independent concerns, but are linked to the larger systems of injustice that frame their lives. In nearly a harrowing tapestry of cultures put together, immigrant women are faced with the complex dynamics that come into play because of multiple injustices intertwined, shaping the daily fight so many have against systems that will marginalize them to their race, gender, and immigration status. It falls into the concept of structural gender racism that outlines the way in which racial and gender based oppressions are interwoven. Immigrant women of color face particular very complex challenges while navigating the oppressive frameworks. Imagine having to live in a fear of deportation where immigration status means almost little in terms of right, or being discriminated against in workplaces and in public according to physical appearance and accent. For many immigration women, this is real life, not a hot occupation. Research has shown that immigrant women face these challenges as part of their everyday lives. In fact, one study of 44 immigrant women in New York City described how restrictive immigration policies and their enforcement create an anti-immigrant climate. These policies, fueled more often than not by xenophobic rhetoric, limit access to healthcare, economic opportunities, and safe.
The problems persist on much deeper levels than the legal ones. Immigrant women often suffer from a varied kind of discrimination interwoven between their race and gender, especially on workplaces and communities. Scholars indicate that structural gender racism operates through discriminatory institutions impacting all areas of life, including job employment, housing, healthcare, and educational opportunities. My boss has told me that I should take whatever job available, since my immigration status means that I have no rights. I'm afraid to speak out in fear of deportation.
Oh.
This is not an isolated story, but it represents a reality affecting many women who are already on the margin. The consequences are severe. Immigrant women are often caught between a rock and a hard place, in a dilemma between their urge to protect their families and the fearful risk of reporting discrimination. This dilemma has toll upon their physical health and mental well-being, adding to the struggles systemic oppression has placed on them. It is not a private struggle, but a demand of all of us together. Not personal discriminations that immigrant women confront are social issues created by policy measures contributing to inequality. These are structures that altogether create an ecology where immigrant women are exposed to disparities in health, economic exploitation, and many more types of injustice. Research has shown that immigrant women also have poorer health and compared to US foreign. This fact is closely interlinked with the structural racism and sexism that they have to endure, which then leads to a lack of health care, unsafe living conditions, and economic exploitation. Structural racism is not an abstract theory, but a reality that has disastrous consequences for human lives.
There is hope, though. Amplifying the voices of immigrant women sheds light on their struggles and pushes for real solutions. Comprehensive immigration reform allows for the protection of rights for all individuals, regardless of immigration status. Mostly important, we have to tear down those systems of racism and sexism that always bear down on them. Creating a society where immigrant women in all marginalized communities can thrive requires addressing these issues holistically. It changed up and got a little more tempo. As we forge ahead, let us remember this. Justice is not only in will cause change, but whom those changes produce. Immigrant women bear injustice every day with brilliant strength. But their strength mustn't blind us to the urgent call for action for all of us to pull together as allies. Our commitment to inclusion means nobody gets left behind.
As mulheres imigrantes não são apenas números, elas são nossos vizinhos, nossos colegas de trabalho e nossos amigos. É hora de ouvi-los, garantir as suas vozes e sejam ecoadas e lutar juntos por um mundo mais justo, onde ninguém com base na sua origem ou identidade seja negado o direito de viver com orgulho e dignidade. Oponha-se às práticas que discriminam e apoiam os direitos dos imigrantes.